Hi everyone. Yes, I have another planner to share with you today. So I told you it's planner launch season. I do want to be upfront with you guys on what planners I have purchased with my own money and which planners were offered to me for free for review by different companies. And this Mom Agenda for 2023-2024 is one that I received for free for review. However, all of my opinions are my own. They didn't give me a script or specific guidelines on what to say, none of the above. So they literally just let me pick which planner I wanted and ask if I would share on my socials. So the reason that I accepted this particular collaboration opportunity is one, I've been really obsessed with bound books lately. I don't know if I switched completely, if I would miss my coil, but I have been wanting to explore some of these bound book options. So that's the primary reason that I chose this specific planner. And this is in their Laguna Blue cover, and it is their desktop edition. So you can go over to Mom Agenda and check out their different options. But for today, we're going to be taking a look at their desktop version. So when you open this book up, it does have this pink background with like a white stripe polka dot situation. I think it's a nice neutral. Pink can be neutral in my opinion. I know not everyone feels that way. So these first few pages are a different paper than you'll see in the rest of the book. And you do have a cover page for your name, address, and phone number. You have their logo, where you can shop, which is momagenda.com, and then a little introduction from the president, Nina, and she's a mom of 4, so mom-owned a business here, and you can read about that. And then I don't always think it's necessary. Sometimes I wish that they would put these how to use this book as like an insert separately in your package, so that if you needed ideas, I think it would be a great reference, but I don't know that it needs to be in the actual planner. However, with that being said, it doesn't bother me. I just don't know how much I would reference it, and then it takes up a page in the book, if that makes sense. Then we go into family members information, and I'm a sucker for grammar, so that makes me happy. And we have important phone numbers. And I like that on this, for the family members information, you can put you, your spouse, and or partner, and any children that you have, including school information. And then you have just some pages for important phone numbers. So this would be nice if you do have like a nanny or anyone coming in to babysit your kids. You could have all of their information for after school, restaurants, clubs, all of that, all right in one spot. You could share this book with them or leave it out for them. Another couple sections of important phone numbers, your last page of important phone numbers, and then you do get an entire page dedicated to websites and passwords. I know when we were on remote learning, this would have been very handy to have a whole page dedicated where I could write my son's different website informations down. Adults' medical information for yourself and your partner. Then a sheet for your kids. So this is really nice because you can have your insurance provider, your kids' ID numbers, their blood types, their pediatrician, dentists, and specialists all in one place. And with this being a bound book, I think I would be more likely to keep everything in here, and then you could easily take this with you to your child's medical appointments. You also have a place just for allergies and prescription medications. And then you do have a 12-month spread over 2 pages for birthdays and anniversaries. And then this is really fun. So depending on how many years you've been with your partner, you can look and see your first year you get a paper gift, your second year is cotton, and so forth. You have your zodiac signs, and I always like to check mine. I think like a while back they kind of shifted these, and I'm a Libra born on October 16th, so it still has that down, which makes me happy. And then your birthstones, opal, flower is the dahlia or marigold. Holidays, so this is kind of different than other planners that I've seen because it has the current year and then 24 and 25. And then you get the whole year on a page and then the upcoming year on a page. So this is where the paper changes from the beginning of the book to this kind of pink off-cast paper. And when you turn your page, that's when the white pages start. It is a nice paper. It does have a little bit of texture to it. It is not super smooth, but also not overly thick either. So we'll have to do a pen testing and see how this paper holds ink pens. You know that I am a gel ink pen lover. So 23, 24, and then you go into your monthly spreads. Right off the bat, there are several things that I love about this month view. So you have the previous month in a mini calendar and the upcoming month in a mini calendar. A nice use of space with a quote. Of course, we have to mention a couple of things that I love, which this could be a deal breaker for some people. I've kind of been having this conversation. It is a Monday start. I prefer a Monday start on my monthly calendar, so that makes me really happy. And then you do have a lined notes column. And another thing that I really appreciate are the lines on the actual calendar boxes. Now, all of the printing on here is like a light blue color. And then I want to say this looks like a mocha brown print. It's not quite black and it's definitely not gray. And the other thing with this desktop agenda is that all of the months are in the front of the book together, which again, I just really love. I think that's because with bound books that I've used that don't have tabs, I hate flipping to find the month view. And the month view is something that I utilize often, like every single day. So I like that they're up front. And then with me using a traveler's notebook for several years, all of my months are together in an insert. So this is just kind of how my brain already works. So I do really like that. So this book again starts in July of 2023. It is an academic start and all your months are going to be the same, with the exception, of course, of any holidays, and then the quotes will change. And they do give you some extra months. So this is not just a 12-month book as far as the monthly calendars. So with this being an academic start in July, you might expect it to end in June of 2024 or July of 2024, but they actually give you all the way through December of 2024. So after your month pages is when you turn to your planning pages, and this book is a weekly planning spread. So again, something that I love is that they have the mini calendars on each page. I know that can be a deal breaker for some people. I really appreciate it, and I like, especially on a weekly page like this, I can glance at the month quickly and see where we're at in the month. And then the upcoming month, as we're getting closer, it's always nice to reference that as well. You'll see that they use this space up here for continued quotes throughout your weekly planning. You have a kind of a column over here that breaks these down into sections, but you wouldn't have to necessarily follow those. So you have a My Week section, a Kids section, and then some blank sections, and then this very bottom one is for dinner. Okay, so if you don't like these breaks, you wouldn't have to follow that. You do have a pretty thin lined column, meaning the space between the lines are thin. I have fairly small printing I don't write really large. So this looks to be about something I would be comfortable writing in as far as the writing space. And then I feel like we need to just grab a sticker and see if the columns are wide enough. So you know me, I'm just gonna grab a random planner Kate sticker. Most planners on the market have like a 1.5 inch column, and we'll see if stickers can be used here. Yes, they can. So it looks like it's pretty much exact. So if you are a sticker user, probably the stickers that you get are about 1.5 inches in width and will most likely work in this weekly layout. Okay, so I'm going to pull that up and we can move on. So all of your weekly pages will be like that. It tells you the days up here in the corner. So for this week, it's July 3rd through the 9th. And then we will get to the end of the weekly pages. So even though, again, this is an academic start, they go ahead and give you all the way through the week of December 30th through January 5th of 2024. And then you're going to go into some extra pages after those weekly planning pages. So this is kind of like a perpetual calendar, and you have your 2 months per page with note sections at the bottom. And then they already have those like major US holidays filled in. But these are for the upcoming year. So these are all for 2025. So this is a nice place for forward planning, and I think a great addition to the use of pages in this book. And then you're back to that kind of pinkish paper. You can kind of see here the difference between the white and the pink. So this is back to the paper that's at the beginning of the book. Okay, and I count very quickly. I got 39 lined notes pages. And again, for a bound book, I think that's a great use of this space. A lot of bound books on the market don't have a ton of notes pages when they have so many monthly and weekly / daily pages. So again, it's always nice to have plenty of room to map out things, make lists, that sort of thing. And then you'll have that pink kind of cardstock end page. Ooh, this is interesting. So you have a little ribbon here that could maybe hold some pieces of paper. Maybe it's just for decoration. Or is this, no, I was thinking maybe this opened. So you do have a piece of ribbon there on the back, and you do get 2 ribbon page markers. So in my mind, I would either 1, cut them off, depending on my mood. Sometimes they drive me crazy. Sometimes I end up loving them. So you could use 1 to mark your monthly page, and then you could use 1 to mark your weekly page. Nice pink ribbon. Okay, so that is my review of the Mom Agenda. I will definitely make sure that I post any spreads that I use this planner for. I'll definitely fill out a monthly, and then probably give this a good couple of weeks in the weekly planning section. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of pen testing. And we'll use my favorites, the Pilot G2 and some other ink pens, and see how this paper holds up. Because if you are like me, paper and writability is definitely important for me when I'm picking out my planner. Okay, I have a variety of my favorite ink pens here, and we'll just go through and do a little bit of writing. This first one is a Uniball Signo DX. And it is in a 0.38 tip, so it is a pretty fine tip gel ink pen. Does not feel scratchy, writes pretty smooth, no smudging there. And then this is the Uniball Signo. I don't remember which. Oh. remember which tip this is. I'm pretty sure this is the 0.5 based on how it's writing. It's definitely not their 0.7. Again, no smearing. This is a cloth and paper Hsu. Oops, I misspelled that, but we're not going to start over. White Barrel, no smearing. Have to give the mild liner a try. Mild liners are very popular. It's a nice way to obviously highlight or bring attention to things in your planner. They are dual tipped. And I've seen a lot of people using these too. These are the Calligraph brush markers from Archer and Olive. Let's see what else we have. We'll use a little bit thicker one and see how this paper holds up, because typically with gel ink pens, the thicker the tip, the more likely they are to smear. This is the Uniball UM. $153, I believe, yes. And it is in their 1.0 millimeter tip. See, a little bit of smearing there, so we might have to let that dry if you choose to use that ink pen. I will just write with a normal Sharpie. Most people don't write with Sharpies in their planners, and it might get some shadowing or bleed through, but we'll give it a shot. And then one of my favorites is the Sarasa Mark-On. This is in a 0.5 tip. And no smearing there. All right, and we'll finish up with the Write-Tech vintage color ink pens. I've really been enjoying these for my church sermons. And they have some different color. Again, a gel ink, no smearing there. All right, let's turn this page over and see that we have just a little bit of bleed through with the Sharpie. Not really any shadowing when I have the page down. I do use studio lights, so if I hold it up, you can kind of see the shadowing there, but I think in normal daylight or just on your desk with the regular lights on, you're not going to see any shadowing there. Thank you guys so much for joining me today on another planner review. Let me know if you have any questions about the Mom Agenda 2023-2024. I do think this planner offers lots of things that users would love, especially on the month view with the lined calendar boxes, the mini calendars, and a great use of space with the quotes.